Welcome to episode 106 of Checkpoint Chat. My name's Alessandro Barbosa. I'm joined by Matthew Figueroa, whose screen is like oscillating brightness. It's weird.
What? You reminded me.
I think it's like something on your desktop is going dark and like light.
Oh, that's
so
weird.
like,
it's probably because you're scrolling on the side here.
you can just stop watching your porn now. We are.
Sorry, let me just minimize there. Let me just mute it.
Yeah, just mute it. I mean, you can carry on watching while we record, but it's
fine. Wow, look at that. You sounded like a teacher. And you're like, welcome to episode 106. I'm your teacher, Mr. Barbosa. Good morning, Mr. Barbosa.
Good morning, teacher.
Why do they make children greet teachers like that?
And they do it in like unison, and it just sounds so like sad. It's like, good morning. Teacher. I don't want to be here.
I don't know why. Like, is there a scientific reason, or is it just because they are kids and it's the only way to keep them in sync and under control? I don't know.
I seem to recall it always happening a lot during like Afrikaans class. You know what I mean?
Goeiemorgen, meneer Bobbers.
Exactly that.
Wow, my just like clipped on our recording. That's amazing.
Is that? My God.
Oh, no.
But yeah, I don't miss those days, not one bit. How's your week been? It's been cold still this week.
It's warmed up a bit though, but your work has been crazy this week. Yesterday I was so glad to see the weekend. I was like, yes, let me just do sweet nothing, because it feels like the last few weeks actually it's felt like I've woken up on Monday and I blink and it's Friday. I'm like, whoa, what happened? There's just so much work that happened between. So
I feel like, I don't know if it's the same with you, but the past 2 weeks they've dragged. I don't know, yesterday especially, just the actual day just felt like it was never ending. I just hated every bit of it.
Mine was hectic because we had two big projects that the deadline was yesterday. And just the way the work split up, so I work with Noelle. So it was a thing of she had her own other project, so she couldn't step in and assist me. So it was like the moment I finished one project and sent it off, it's like, I've got to move straight on to another, make sure it's fine.
You can't even like take a 5-minute breather, be like, yeah, I did.
I know, shit. So 6 p.m. yesterday, I sent it off. I'm like, yes, finally, we can Friday.
6 p.m. Damn.
No, but that's normal though. I mean, in my office hours are 9:30 to 6, but it's just a thing of like, sometimes if we're very lucky on a rare occasion, Fridays we'll like sort of wrap up at like 4 or 5. You can just chill.
Oh, that's when you usually have your beers and play Super Smash Bros. Or something.
Yeah, but yesterday was just like, damn, just nonstop, crack the whip.
Has your office tried to like move some of the the fun elements of the office to like a remote thing? Like, for example, my workplace, they sent us all coffee beans and like a French press filter thing, because they were like, hey, we know you used to coffee in the office, so here's coffee at home. I was like,
that's quite cool.
Yeah, it's quite nice.
We do a thing every Friday called BGG. So when the company started, I think it stood for bad, good, great. So what it meant is every week, I mean, this is when the company started, it was small. Every week they would just get together and just like recap the week, what went well, what went bad, like, and what they're grateful for, sort of thing. And then it just over time evolved into this thing called BGG, where the whole company gets together and the CEOs just give us a recap. It's like, this is what happened this week, this is the work that's coming in, here's some news, etc., etc. So obviously that can't happen, but it happens remotely now. And it's actually been interesting. It's funny because we all join like a big Teams meeting. I mean, it's like 100 people.
Yes, it's in one Teams meeting.
And then obviously only the CEOs are talking. Yeah. But then there's a chat bar on the side, and often the one remarks like, I feel like a streamer. Like, can I get some hype in chat?
Yeah. Can I get some sick emoticons?
Yeah, everyone just spamming GIFs and responding, whatever. So yeah, like that's sort of stuck.
And you still do that weekly then?
We do it weekly, yeah, and it's been pretty cool. But one thing I thought was quite interesting, my brother-in-law, he joined a new company a few weeks ago, and their company does a quiz every Friday, which I thought was pretty cool.
Okay.
So that they
Yeah.
just do like one, I suppose, like a pub quiz. You just do it remotely. Someone like runs the thing, and then everyone. There's actually a website that you can use to set it up, and everyone can. It's kind of like Jackbox in a sense.
So you like hit a link into it or
Yeah,
whatever?
you'd literally just need like a room code, and then the quiz master has set up a thing on the side, and then questions pop up. It's pretty cool. Well, that's quite a nice thing
my
for companies
workplace
to do.
kind of does the same, but I just don't.
You're like, I'm too smart for you, bozos.
They're
It's
like,
fine.
yeah, but, well, no, they just like do it in the evening. I'm just like, I've been working all day. Like, that's the last thing I want to do. So, no.
Yeah, whatever.
Appreciate the effort, but no. But, yeah, it's been a long, good week. Oh, God, your video just froze there again.
So did yours.
No.
It's like, did we die? No. Episode 106, we haven't had to re-record in like maybe 2 years, 3 years.
I listened back to last week's episode, and I got to the point where it froze out for like quite a while, and you can hear both of us just being like, it gets like, I think you carry on talking, but I can hear in your voice you're like, oh no. And then eventually I come back and I'm just like, oh God, thank God.
And then on my side, you're like, oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
It was quite funny.
That's good. That's a good time.
This is weird. I'm using my phone as a webcam so you can see me, but I can feel it vibrating. So I wonder how that's affecting like the video. Like, zzz.
Oh no, no,
like-
you look absolutely still.
I mean, the vibration's like momentary, but the vibration's
keep
so
an eye on
strong.
it.
I mean, the phone's on a tripod that's got
Yes.
rubber feet, so it should be like, absorbing some of that shock. But then it's on a wooden table, and I can feel it on the other side of the table.
Right.
Like that vibration just travels.
Good Lord. I mean,
Crazy.
that vibration travels regardless. I mean, how many times has it happened where like a phone is on the other side of the office and the person's off making coffee, but you can hear it. It's
So annoying. It's like when
Come on.
someone's got
Come
an alarm
on.
that they're not turning off and it keeps vibrating like in a rhythmic. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm a ninja with my alarm. I think
I'm
Lenska and I
not.
both are very, like, the moment the alarm goes off, we're like, eyes open, snooze, and then back to sleep. And then-
Okay, so you're
then again.
a ninja with hitting it to snooze. Okay, good.
Yeah, and then we
I
snooze it
feel
like 300
better about
times.
myself now. Yeah,
Yeah.
I snooze a lot and it irritates the shit out of Shani because Shani's like, once the alarm goes off and she hears it, she's awake. So snoozing doesn't work for her. She's like,
Oh,
it's just
no.
a waste.
No, snoozing.
She's like,
snoozing
you
is
might as
life.
well put the alarm later. Like,
I acknowledge that snoozing is a bad idea, but there's nothing more satisfying than be like, I've still got 20 minutes. Let me just close my little eyes.
Exactly. or the moments where, like, in between snoozes, it's like a 9-minute thing or whatever, and you fall into the deepest sleep in that 9 minutes, and it
Oh,
just
wow.
feels like forever.
Yeah, but then you wake up 9 minutes later, like,
Yeah,
Wow.
you wake up with anxiety because you're like, oh God. And
know.
it has happened to me a few times, especially at varsity, where I've like woken up and been like, oh God,
oh no,
something happened. I turned off my alarm by accident, and I just, R.I.P.
Laugh. What can we say? Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's been a week, but it's weekend, and we're probably gonna play lots of them video games. Maybe.
This
you
is
know,
Checkpoint Chat. We
I've
talk
got-
about video games and play them from time to time.
Yeah, I've got no plans to go out for obvious reasons, but
Yeah,
here we are.
even me.
Just on that, before we get into the episode, have you noticed that this week that things seem to have peaked? Like, not peaked, but it feels like a lot of people sort of became aware. They're like, oh shit, like Corona's a thing. I don't know if that is just our perception.
I think it's also because Joburg became the number one province again for infections, and I don't know if people are realizing, but I see more and more people finding out that people they know, like
They know
close,
have it,
close to
yeah.
them, are
Yeah,
infected.
That's what I mean. There's a lot of people that we know. They're like, oh shit, like my cousin has it, my work colleague has it, my mom has it, and it's weird because it just feels like this week in particular there were a lot of those. I mean, yeah, no, I hear you. There are still a lot of people out there just YOLOing, living their best
and
life.
like
So-
now should be the time where you be most careful, because like fewer people are being as careful as they should be. So like you should be on a much more heightened like alert than you were on other levels. I went to a mall this week because I had to go to the bank to deposit some money, and I saw people sitting at restaurants just without masks, and I was just like,
that restaurant regulation though baffles me, because it is a thing of, okay, you can go to a restaurant, you have to wear your mask. I'm like, okay, cool, but what happens when my food arrives?
yeah. So
That mask is coming off.
This was at a Mug and Bean. They were basically like measuring people as they came in, and then when you were in the restaurant, as far as I could tell, everyone in the restaurant could take off their masks because all the waiters had masks and those face shields. But I'm just like the space between me and you sitting down to eat is open air. So if you fucking sneeze or something, like there's no like glass shielding between us or whatever.
Keep your shit to yourself.
Like, it's almost like, hey, this is a smoking area, but we're not going to enclose it. It's just people are sitting here smoking. It's like,
yeah,
this doesn't change anything.
It's weird times. Yeah, so I was just curious, because I thought this week was quite a thing where we heard a lot of people being like, oh, we know people who have it. I mean, but we've known since the beginning. Lenska's two of her closest friends got it, so we're like,
really?
oh shit. Yeah, but they're all good now. Yeah, all
See, I
Gucci.
think it's almost good that you got that scare early on because you know.
Yeah, and they were told they had mild cases, and they did not have a good time. Like,
But
okay.
I guess the central idea is we are all going to get it eventually. That is part of the thing. It's just like, just try avoid it as much as you can. Like,
well, yeah, it's a thing of, do you want to get it now and then go
potentially get it again, because it doesn't seem like you are immune once you get it. Yeah.
No, not only that. If you have a bad case, I mean, the hospitals are getting relatively full, from what we've heard.
And some of the lasting effects I've seen
Lenska says
communicated.
they are full.
Oh, they are full. Yeah, we don't want to be. Hello, Lenska. We don't want to be like taking up those ventilators.
No,
yeah,
exactly.
I think there's only like 4,000 locally. So do the
Great.
math.
You do the math, yeah.
Yeah, you do the math.
Okay, but that's your Corona update.
Yeah, that's your Corona update.
Let's get back to games.
Video games.
Games.
Stuff. For the first time in 2 weeks, we're not talking about The Last of Us 2.
Wow. But, I mean, we
What a
both
time
finished
to be
it.
alive. Yeah, we both finished it.
Did
It's
a nice
good.
little spoiler cast. If you missed it and you finished it, go back and listen. We spoke about lots of things.
The discourse is getting worse and worse. I don't know if
the internet is still shitting over the worst
and if you
thing.
saw Laura Bailey's
Yeah, that's
thing,
exactly what I was going to
Jesus.
say. The voice
People
actress
sending
for
her death
Abby
threats,
getting death
yeah.
threats. Like, okay, I mean, it's
Yeah,
literally
because Laura Bailey is Abby.
literally the same
it's just
person.
Like, wow.
Okay, whatever.
But yeah, some of those threats were fucking disgusting, and if you partake in that, go away.
I'm just like, what possesses you to sit down and be like, I'm just gonna send a death threat today, and not a thing of like, I hope you die. I'm gonna make it the most like awful thing in the world. Like I don't know.
I'm not gonna post a death threat to you. I'm gonna post it to your future children or something. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Your parents or family. Like, okay,
fucking ridiculous.
Why do you have to be mad? It's
I feel
game.
bad because she's like she was like, I normally try and keep posting positive stuff, but she's like, I really can't continue without sharing some of this. And it's, I think there's something to be said about we shouldn't give minority air, but when it's like literally someone receiving threats like that on the daily, like that's not on. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I think it's good to bring it to light, because people also then come out in support of her.
Yeah.
Like I saw that thread, and there were a lot of people saying like, and I know it's difficult. It's a minority, but your performance was incredible. Don't let them get you down, etc., etc.
But it's not even just her. I mean, it's the recognizable faces of Naughty Dog, like Neil Druckmann and writer Haley Gross and stuff. But it's also like developers at Naughty Dog that like character designers and artists and stuff that people are just coming at them because it's like, why did you design Abby this way? Why did you design this? It's like, fuck off, man. Like, honestly.
Dude, I designed a box in Seattle. Like, I had nothing to do with the characters.
This sense of ownership that players of games feel they have over the products they play is just like completely misplaced. Like, you do not own that product. The studio that produces it owns it. You are there to enjoy it.
So I don't know if you've listened to the Kind of Funny did a big spoiler cast with Troy
I haven't.
Baker.
I do want to. Yeah.
So I've only listened to the first half of it, but one thing that they said that actually I was like, yeah, 100% was Neil Druckmann and Troy Baker was saying like they get a lot of criticism from fans saying like they don't love the characters. Like why would they do that to them? Neil Druckmann's like, I wrote this character into existence. Like, of course I care about him. Like, hello.
They're like my children.
I don't know. It's just like, you've got a point. Like, I
don't understand how people think the creators of these games don't have like an emotional attachment to them, because it's like, when I worked on games, and granted it was much smaller, it was also on games that I hadn't personally. They weren't characters I'd created. They were someone else's brainchild that I was working on. You still feel a connection to it because it's a part of you that you are putting out into the world and telling people to basically critique. Not tear apart, like critique. And it's difficult even when you get constructive negative criticism because it's like, here's this thing I made and people are like, it's shit. And like, okay. Fine, if they're saying it's shit in a way that is, backed up or whatever, it's tough to take, but you take it. But when people are just like, you hate this character, why did you do this? It's like, no, I don't. Yeah. This is like a part of me that I'm wanting to share with the world,
Yeah.
I just don't understand. I think a lot of this stemmed from, I don't think it's solely responsible, but I recall when they changed Mass Effect 3's ending, I was like, this is a bad idea. This is set a precedent that the players are in control of the overall story and what they deserve from a product. And it's just wrong. I think BioWare at the time were wrong to do what they did because it basically said, okay, cool, what we think the story is doesn't matter. It's what you think it is. And ever since then, it's been cited as this like inflection point of like, this is when the discourse changed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, you've seen that stupid petition. Like, we petition them to make the story what we want. Like, fuck off. It's not your story.
It's yeah. I don't know.
It's not your story.
I hate saying things like gamers are entitled, because not all gamers are entitled. But good lord, the vocal, even if it is a vocal minority, they're very loud and they're very trashy, and it's just like I'm actually surprised that Laura Bailey waited this long. I'm like, the game's been out for 3 weeks or whatever. I'm sure she's been receiving shit like that from day one.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I can only imagine like what the builder must have been for it to be like, I just can't anymore. Like, it's crazy.
But it's like both of us have played or watched something where you're like, oh, I wish that was different. Like, I wish the last Star Wars movie was different, because like I liked it, but man, it's real contrived at points,
Yeah.
And then I saw those ideas that the previous director Colin Trevorrow had, and I'm like, man, that does sound a lot better. I would love that. But I'm not out here like fucking attacking J.J. Abrams.
You haven't lived until you've sent a death threat to a director or a game creator. So
it's like, it's disappointing, but I'm not signing a petition for them to remake the fucking movie. Like, I don't, I'm
just going to start
so many more important things.
To J.J. Abrams DMs you and be like, hey, just please die.
Remake.
Because that's like the logic that comes out of this. Like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't get it. And I do think it's people who have, some emotional issues that they need to work through, and that's the way that they vent it, and it's not right, because there are people that you are damaging with those sorts of words. So stop your shit.
It's just be nice. The best motto. Just be lekker.
Yeah, be lekker.
It's not hard. It's really not that difficult.
It's not hard. Yeah. If you type out a death threat, just
delete it.
Delete it. Don't even keep it in your drafts. Just delete it.
Just delete it. Just backspace.
Delete it. Yeah, just backspace. Yeah.
Oh, I like how we were like, we're not talking about The Last of Us. 10 minutes later, here's some Last of Us drama.
Shut up. This is my podcast. I can do what I want.
We can do what we want. I can eat my cake.
In better news, I've been playing more Bloodborne this week.
You've been playing a lot of shit. So tell me about Bloodborne. Where are you now?
Oh man. So I'm nearly done. I killed Mikolash, who is the worst boss. I just hate him.
I hate that.
He's so annoying. He's just annoying.
Do you die to him?
Yes.
Okay, so I was lucky. So John Michael watched me stream it, and I killed Miklos first time. But like
the first time I played, I killed him first time.
Yeah,
but
he
this time,
said to me, it's one of those bosses where you can just be incredibly lucky or incredibly unlucky. I was very lucky.
He only has that one stupid attack, those projectiles that come over, and like when he shoots that, it's like a 50-50 chance you're gonna die.
Yeah,
like it's bullshit.
The projectiles in that
boss.
game in general, I'm like, no, please don't touch me.
But like that boss, from a lore perspective, is super interesting because he's such an important character.
Yeah.
But the whole running around and getting him in a room and no,
I hate it.
I hate that boss fight.
You've actually made. I mean, you started what, like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
I mean, between all the other stuff you've been playing, to get to the end just about, that's quite some progress.
I do feel like the game. I felt this the first time I played, and I definitely feel it again now playing with what feels like the baby weapon of the game, Ludwig's Holy Blade. Man, this weapon feels like it breaks the game. Like
that's a
straight
game.
up.
I think that's the weapon I used the most in my first playthrough. The moment I got it, I had it.
It's super fun to use. Like, I'm not going to say that I'm not having fun, but it definitely feels like if you know how to scale it correctly, like you are just doing so much damage. But I've got to the point in the game where I do feel like it just gets easier. I think once you beat Rom, the game's on like it's already hit its climax, and you are just racing through the last bits and the end quite quickly. But I'm like, I'm looking at guides and stuff because I'm trying to get stuff that I never saw before. So I did Canehurst, which was really cool.
It's a good area.
Make a Castlevania game.
I found that area only because a viewer like pointed me in the right direction, but getting there is pretty obscure. There's an area in Dark Souls 3 as well, which I missed in my first playthrough, but it is a thing of like, I knew I got to the spot and I knew that something had to happen here, but I didn't know what. Only when I finished the game, I was like, if I'd done this, like I would have teleported to a whole nother area. But it's like how people figure that out. It's so obscure. I don't know.
Yeah, because like I think the first playthrough I got the Canehurst summons, but I didn't know I had to go to this obscure obelisk in the middle of nowhere to summon
then a carriage appears. It's like, hello.
Yeah, like what the hell?
To the castle.
And also, do you know if the carriage appears, when it appears, if you die, it disappears and you can't summon it again. Yeah.
What? Okay. Cool.
And because of the way Bloodborne saves, there's no way to rectify that. Once you die, that's it.
Unless you like quickly pull up the PS menu, like, no, crash the game.
Good luck.
I don't know if that works. Yeah.
But Canehurst is a phenomenal area. Like I said, it feels like a little slice of Symphony of the Night in Bloodborne. And the boss there is super cool, Martyr Ligarius.
I like that boss.
He's so aggressive and so fast that it forces you to get really good at visceral attacks like quickly. Like there hasn't been another boss where I've got like 3 or 4 viscerals on a single boss, and I killed him with a visceral. And
nice.
Let me tell you, the dopamine hit that they gave me. You think cocaine's good?
I really
try beating a boss with a visceral.
You need to bounce to Dark Souls 3. I think you'll 100% enjoy it.
So I'm doing Old Hunters now, the DLC again.
I need to replay the game purely to do the DLC.
That DLC, man. So I'm like chewing through the DLC, like because a lot of it. So the Old Hunters, a lot of the enemies are hunters. So you face a lot of those super fast, super agile enemies.
No, I hate them.
And I'm destroying them. But I've gotten to the first boss, Ludwig, and I can't fucking touch this dude. He is so... I remember now why people considered him one of the harder bosses of the game. Because, like, I remember he was the only boss in my first playthrough that I beat using a AI companion. You know, when you summon them with the bell. Because that was the only way I could stop him attacking me. And like, again, I'm just like, fuck, this guy, like he doesn't give you time to breathe and he just hits you all the... Man, he's a hard boss. So I'm stuck there at the moment. But
if you're wondering why he's beating you, he's like, could you just put down my holy blade, please? Stop trying to use it against me. This is not cool.
He's so... And he's like this I don't know if you've seen footage of him. He's like this
I've probably seen bits and
massive
pieces.
beast that is like half horse, half human. It's disgusting, and I don't like it.
He's a centaur. What do you have against centaur?
And then halfway through his fight, there's a cutscene, and he pulls out a blade, and I'm just like,
nice.
fuck.
You're like, hey, that's my weapon. What are you doing with it?
He's got a weapon. It's not his blade. It's the moon blade. It's like this green arcane one that you can get, but it's more an arcane weapon. Yeah, but it's such a good game. It really is.
Every time I see like a sliver of footage, I'm like, I have to replay this game.
I also faced bosses. I got to a part that I never got to last time. Higher Cathedral Ward, which is where the choir is. So I faced Ebrietus and all those things. So it's like I'm getting into new areas that I've never traveled to, and I'm really enjoying it.
You should check your trophy list, because if you're gonna finish, is it the second time you're gonna finish it now?
Yeah, you see, I thought about the platinum, and then I saw all the chalice things, and I'm just
chalice things are an absolute.
So there's only one chalice trophy.
Yeah,
but it's defeat Yharnam, which is like one of the last bosses in the last layers of the chalice dungeons.
Yeah, it's to beat the lady in white or something.
Yeah,
whatever.
who's Lady Yharnam.
Oh yes, Lady Yharnam. Sorry, and to get there, you need to. It's like like you said, one of the last layers, and getting there. It's started hard. It because I did my second playthrough, and I was like, this is gonna be my run where I do all this annoying shit, and I must be like halfway through the chalice dungeons, and then I just fell off.
They're so hard. They're so hard.
No, it was the thing of like, no, I basically got to the end of the game so that when I went back to the chalice dungeons, that'd be easy. Now it's a chore to get through. Like everything's
it's a lot.
Actually straightforward, but the areas start to look the same, and I'm like, it's just.
And also like one of the
it.
trophies is like get all the gear, and I'm just like, there's a lot of gear I don't have.
There's a lot of gear. Oh yeah, get all the weapons, I think.
Yeah, let's get all the weapons and get all the hunter gear. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I won't. I'd love to get a platinum, but I've seen people talk. I know people who've got the platinum, and they all say, "Man, that was a hard platinum one to get." And I'm just like,
I think it's because it's quite grindy.
I don't want to get to the point where I despise the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, of course.
So,
that's
Bloodborne is
shenanigans.
What a good game!
It's fantastic.
They should release it on PC, because that frame rate. I'm like more sensitive to it now. When there's a lot of enemies on screen, I'm like, ooh, it dips quite a bit there. Ooh.
Oh, come on, what is this? And you got a PS4 Pro. What's going on here?
Yeah, it's a bit gross.
Processing power.
I'm not sensitive to everyone's like, man, I can't play this game because of the frame pacing. I don't feel that.
Yeah, I don't see that at all.
Like, I know it's a thing. I just don't feel it. But the frame drops I feel, and that doesn't feel good.
If it comes to PC, forget the platinum. I'll just replay it on PC. It's fine.
No, I'll 100% replay it on PC, and it'll feel good.
Yeah.
I've also been playing Trackmania. They released a new Trackmania.
So this sort of snuck about. I had no idea this was going to happen until you mentioned it last week or the week before that there's a new Trackmania coming.
I've been watching this.
You've been watching. I had a little kick in my nostalgia because I was like, I spent a good fair bit of time playing Trackmania Nations back in the day.
Did you play it on PC, right?
I played it on PC, yeah.
With a keyboard.
With a keyboard.
The real way to play.
Now I have a controller. I think I'll probably play it with a controller.
Yeah, I'm doing it with a controller, but I know the people who are like super into it still use the keyboard. And I'm just like, okay.
I don't know, man. I think a controller lets you do like slight turns, which the keyboard just can't give to you. You have to like tap and it just doesn't feel right. So I don't know.
Yeah, but man, it is like you said, it hit your nostalgia. It is that game. It is 100% a very pretty remake of Trackmania Nations, which it kind of is. So you're racing in tracks that are like in a stadium. You align yourself with a country and you just compete against ghosts from all over the world. You're just trying to get that better time, man. It's so good. It's the sort of like habit I've been like itching for. Just like I told you before the show, I got into one track where I was just like, I want to perfect this track because I just really feel like I can. And I spent like an hour just shaving off 1/10 of a second off my time. And it's so like, it can get, I don't think frustrating is the right word. I can be like, man, why am I not getting this turn that I was like getting like perfectly now?
Yeah.
But when you hit that perfect lap, like when it all comes together, it just feels, it's euphoric. It's so, so good. And the tracks are short. Like it's like 30, 40 seconds. Like you do get long tracks and they're not my favorite. It's the tracks that takes like 30 seconds to complete because you can just hit like
do them quickly.
reset, you know. It's so good. It feels good. It's, to me, it's the like one of the most pure forms of video game racing because everyone's got the same car.
Yeah,
everyone's got the same control.
No funny, like you don't have better acceleration or better grip or anything like that.
It's all the same. It's literally all about minuscule differences of turn angles, braking times, acceleration times, and it's literally like, because the tracks are 30 seconds long, it's like you held brake for 0.1 of a second more here than previously, so you've lost time.
You lost that time, yeah.
It's really all about like making sure you get the right angle out of an exit or the right angle into a turn, or it's like the closest thing to like fucking Formula One. I feel like it's so good.
Yeah, but that's but like you said yesterday, you spend like a good hour shaving off that time, getting a perfect time, and then you pull up the leaderboard like, the dude in first place is 5 seconds ahead of me. What are they doing differently? What sorcery is this? Like, yeah, then
it really is that. It's like I spent all that time because I was 6th in South Africa for that track, and I was like, "Fuck, man, I need to get
top 5."
5th." And then I shaved off that 10th, and I stayed 6th, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
What?
So I worked at it again, and I shaved off a tiny bit more, and it pushed me up to 5th. And then I looked at first, and they're like 4/10 ahead, so almost half a second. I'm just like, I don't know.
Where?
Like, I don't know where he's getting half a second of time, which is crazy to think about, but it's like, that's a lot. Half a second is a lot.
But it's but it's funny because when you say a half a second in just normal time, it's like half a second's so quick. But in racing time, it's like, no, that's a shit
half
ton
a
of
second
time.
is a lot. It's like 2 car lengths in front.
Yeah,
in
like
front of me.
where
Like,
are you making up these car lengths? Like, what's going on?
And it makes me appreciate, because I love Formula One. Like, you know, I watch Formula One, but like these are real racers who are basically racing within the same sorts of fine margins. Like, you watch their qualifying times and they are differences of like 1/10, 2/10 of a second. I'm just like, how are these people in actual cars whacking out these perfect laps, you know, one after the other over 2 hours?
What perspective are you playing? Are you doing like behind the car, in the car?
Oh, behind the car.
Yeah. My thing, I mean, ever since I was a kid, I've always been amazed at how Formula One drivers, I mean, most racing games, when I was young, I played from behind the car. Because, I mean, it feels a little bit slower. You can see more, whatever.
Yeah.
But the moment you're in the car, I'm like, whoa, this is a different
You feel that
perspective.
speed, yeah.
But now imagine being a Formula One driver in that car. It's like... Okay.
Going at 300 kilometers an hour.
Cool. It's easy. Yeah, those reflexes and the timing and just I think the discipline to keep putting out the same laps, exact same corners, etc. Yeah, it's quite a...
I think by the end of the race...
skill.
I mean, I know for sure you must be so mentally tired.
Yeah,
because
you're
it's
so
just like
focused the whole time.
Yeah, it's like hyper, and it's why I think, especially for Formula One, you have to be a certain breed of human to be able to play to race that. There is something in you that is able to hone in or like zone in on that sort of focus that not everyone can do. I don't think it's something you can train.
No, and it's a thing of like, if you let your focus slip for a bit, like you're gonna crash and potentially die. So
it's extremely dangerous for you. And yeah, so Trackmania is not that.
It's not that. It's that, but in a safe environment, you can crash. You won't die. It's all good.
The one. So I don't know. I can't remember a lot of original nations, but there's a lot of different track terrains here. So you've got like the normal tarmac or road, and then you've got like a dusty, or it almost looks like a clay tennis court. So it's like you slide a bit more, you brake a bit weirder, stuff like that. Then you've got like a grass surface where if you brake, you come to a stop like extremely quickly. And then you've got the worst, the worst is ice. Fuck that. Man, there's a track that is just ice, and it's all about like getting your angle correct and just like letting the ice take you. And like, oh man, ice is really hard to drive. So those are just 4 track types, but then you've got all sorts of track elements that you got to deal with. So there's like boost pads, super boost pads, which make you go super, super fast. Oh. There's pads that add like jet engines to your tires so that you stick to a surface better. So like if you're doing like weird loop-de-loops and stuff like that. There's one that's pretty cool where it turns off your engine. So you have to make sure you've got the angle and the speed.
What was the last Trackmania called? Do you remember? I actually reviewed it for Critical Hit back in the day.
Yeah, it was Trackmania Turbo, I think it was.
Turbo or something. So
yeah,
that sounds
was
a lot
good
like,
as well.
So that game had 4 different like I suppose worlds and car types. So one was like the Formula 1 car. One is almost like a rally car. And one
I remember there was a lot of off-road stuff in that one.
Yeah, so it feels from what you said, it sounds like they've like smashed all those worlds into one package where you do have a pad that makes your tires stick to the surface for the loop-to-loop. You do have a pad that cuts off your engine, because that existed in that game
Turbo,
as well.
Yeah.
I
do
also
remember
the different
that,
surfaces. Yeah, like I remember going off-road and having to like drift around corners, and then like getting back onto tar on the same map, and it changes how the car handles. So it sounds like they've just brought all of that under one umbrella now. I mean, that game was under one umbrella, but yeah.
I really enjoyed Turbo. I liked it a lot. Yeah, Turbo was great.
That game is actually. How far did you get in that campaign?
I don't think I finished it. But I was like addicted to like early tracks, just like getting good times again.
Because that campaign was the thing of like, in order to unlock the next set of levels, you need to get like X amounts of silvers or golds or bronze. And
the progression was hardcore.
Really difficult to do that.
Like, and the medals, they were hard because it was that game was more positioned as like a single player game. So it was like really you against you type of thing. Where I feel like this one, getting the gold is still hard, but like to me, that's just like cool. You got the gold. Now the real challenge starts, because now you're facing other people in the world. You can get the developer medal, which is above gold.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah, so we've got to talk about the subscription model to this game. Because so you've got 3 tiers. The first one, basically the core package of Trackmania, is free. It's called the starter pack, whatever. And so far I've got like access to a number of cosmetic items. I've got the first season of the campaign levels. And I've got like a daily track type of thing. Then you've got 2 tiers above that. You've got, I think it's standard or premier, something like that, and then club. And those, like, there is a massive like rubric of things that you get, between the 2 editions. It's like there's so many differences. But as far as I can tell, it's like, do you want to host custom servers? Do you want to race on custom servers? Track customization is far more robust in the paid tiers and stuff like that. And that is a ongoing subscription. So it's like, I think it's $20 a year for the highest tier, which isn't bad.
That's honestly, $20. I thought you were going to say a month initially when you told me, which would have been steep at a year.
No, $20 a year is not bad. And it's like, every season you're getting new tracks from the developers. You're getting it's a live game, you know what I mean? So as opposed to buying expansions, you're just paying $20 a year and getting access to this ongoing library of content. And I think the main thing about Trackmania Nations is like, it's player content that's the king there. It's like player-made tracks and getting good at player-made tracks. So I need to dig more into the differences between the 2, but I've just been playing the starter free edition. And
you've been having a swell time.
I haven't hit a wall yet on stuff, and I'm just having a great time.
You've hit many walls on your loops, don't lie.
Yeah, yes. I have. Come try beat my time.
I really, if I had the time, I'd love to jump in. Because I like I said, I have a very soft spot for Trackmania. And it's funny because I'm not, like, I'll play racing games, but I don't get excited for them. I'm not like, oh my God, like you. You're a perfect example because you love Formula 1. So you will play the Formula One games. But Trackmania I have a very soft spot for, because I think it was at a time when, it must have been around the time where I just got HSL. So online gaming was like, it was mind blowing. It was like, holy shit, I'm racing against all these other people.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
You could join a server and you could see all these other cars. Like, this is incredible. So
you can play those live servers where it's not ghosts, it's like people playing in real time.
Yeah, so I just have memories of doing that and being completely blown away that this is gaming. I can play with other people around the world, which is really cool.
It is really fun. It's and I feel like it's just wholesome. It's just like people are here to race and to just try get better and better, and it's great.
It's exactly like you said. It's completely like undiluted racing in the sense that there is no, like, people could maybe see it as a bad thing, like I can't customize how my car accelerates, etc. But it's in this context, it makes perfect sense that everyone's got the exact same vehicle. How, like, what can you do with it?
Because it's really cool. It's literally all down to player skill.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Absolutely all down to player skill. There's no argument of variation here and there. There's no argument like, oh, okay, I need to tune my car in this way. It's like, no, you're all on a level playing field. Just it's you and the controller, which I appreciate. When the dude
beats you by half a second, he's just way better.
He's just way better. There's no other hidden element to it. It's just he's better than me, and man, it's a tough pill to swallow. But yes,
or turns out that it's a Mario Kart track and there's just one corner he's cutting. You just don't know about it. It's like
it's Baby Park. It's just round and round and round.
Oh goddamn.
But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
What you been playing? Nothing else you want to touch on?
No. What you got going on?
So I can say that I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima, but I cannot talk about it. Ghost of Sushi. I'm playing it. I'm probably like 9-10 hours in, but I cannot talk about it. But we will do a full discussion next week, because by the time we record next week, that Tuesday embargo lifts, so I can share some thoughts.
The next episode will probably be a bit late to hit
that embargo. I think it will just delay by a day. But yeah, so I'm putting all my time into that, and on the side, I am still plugging away at Xenoblade Chronicles, which is a very long game, but I'll say that, but I haven't actually sat down and like sunk.
You're playing two very large games.
I'm playing two very large games, and let's just remember, I peppered in a casual 30-hour The Last of Us 2 there as well. So
you actually slammed it quite quickly. Yeah.
I was actually quite shocked at how quick I got through The Last of Us. Like I had many evenings where I was like, I'm going to sink in a good 4 hours here, 5 hours here, whatever. Xenoblade, I'm now, I think, about 28 hours in. It's weird.
Damn.
I've played more The Last of Us 2 than I have Xenoblade. But those 28 hours have come in from quick 10 minutes to an hour sessions here and there over the last couple of weeks. And I know, so I haven't listened to the initial episode where I shared some thoughts on it. And I know I must have come across sounding, like thinking about it now, I must have come across sounding like I didn't like it, because I was like, it's a lot of, like very, and I don't use it in a negative connotation. I use it in an endearing way. Like, it's a very Japanese, like typical JRPG, like weird start, like maybe a bit of a slow start, a lot to take in, but like nearly 30 hours in now, I'm really, really enjoying this game. Like it's got that hook of, like, I've just got a whole lot of quests. I'm just going to go tick off some boxes, get some experience, get some money, buy some gear, and then move on to the next part of the story. But in that regard, that's why it's so long, because, well, that's why it can be long, because if you get lost in side quests when I first started the game, I criticized him a bit, saying like they seem a bit shallow. It's like one of the quests was literally, I go talk to a person, they say, I've got to kill these monsters, but I don't feel like doing it. Can you go do
kill
that
10 rats?
Yeah, and there's a lot of that in this game. But that is not the only level of side quests you get. So as you proceed in the game, like I'm in an area now, it's like this massive hub, and I must have picked up like 25 side quests. I'm not even joking. Like, there are a lot of side quests. But the way the game's structured, so I get to this hub, in getting to my next main objective, like on the way there, I can tick off a lot of these side quests by default.
Okay.
And what's cool is that you don't have to like run back to town to hand them all in. So if a quest is like kill these 3 monsters, when you kill the 3rd monster, it just says quest complete, you get your reward.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Like I said, I don't know what's changed from the original. I don't know if that was a thing in the original, but it's a nice feature that I really enjoy because I don't like the idea of running back. Although,
like if it's unnecessary, if it's like you get one line of dialogue being like, "Hey, thanks," and then quest complete, like that was a complete waste of my time. Yeah.
Yeah. So those quests tend to be like complete filler content and just a means for you to push you to one side of the map that you might not have seen before, for example.
And I guess also like leveling up and stuff.
And leveling up, getting money, experience, etc. But there are some quests that actually flesh out the story. So, as like a dumb example, I've had a quest, a series of quests going on where there's a guy who's very interested in some lady and an encampment, and he's been like wanting to write her stories and etc. So you normally have to go pick up like ingredients for him to write or inspiration sources,
ingredients for him to write.
Or was he a painter? I can't remember. This is a level of side quest.
You have to go find his oil paints.
But like this quest kept progressing. Like I turned it in, then he had something else for me to do. Turned it in, had something else for me to do. Then eventually I delivered something to this lady, and then I had another quest from her to do something. She's like, so this is probably where I got confused. And she said, I need ingredients to do a painting to show my feelings for this guy. So I did it, and she gave me a painting, and I gave it back to the guy, but it was an awful painting.
Oh no.
And then you go back and you talk to her, and it's like, she says, I didn't know how else to tell him I wasn't interested.
Oh wow.
So like that's just an example, but there are those levels of side quests where
that's amazing.
Most of them are just these like filler, like go kill this, go collect that. But there are a couple here and there that are actual, just little side stories that are very interesting.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, it is quite. I laughed. I was like, okay, that's quite.
What
rude,
sort of ingredients did you need to find for painting? Like
this
tomatoes
game is,
for red paint or something?
This game's got. I must actually take you a video or screenshot. This game's got a ton of random items you'll just pick up in running through the world.
Okay.
Like just you'll pick up a flower or a cog, but I mean, there's like usually a descriptor like violet flower, big cog, or so, like it's a dumb example.
Big cog.
I mean, I don't know
that's what they call Marcus Phoenix in Gears of War 2.
They call him the big cog.
Big cog, yeah. The big cog.
Yeah, but the long and the short of it is that this game is very big. There's a lot to do. It makes me feel, it often feels like I'm playing an MMO by myself in the sense that like the world's just very big and there's a lot of stuff to do. But what I really like about it is that if I were to play it on the original system, the Wii back in the day, I think I would have fallen off because to sit down and like run through this big open world, I'd probably get over it very quickly. But the fact that it's on the Switch and I'm literally just playing little chunks here and there makes it very cool. Like I'll often pick up my Switch when I have 5-10 minutes and then I'll just start running to my next objective and I'll pick up some items, do 1 or 2 things, and then I'm done. But like I've made some progress. And I've accumulated nearly 30 hours just by doing these little
So it is conducive to like small play sessions.
Like yes and no. I think if you enjoy big open worlds filled with quests, like it'll keep you hooked, for a long time. I mean, long stretches if you want to. But just the way I've been playing it, I've had other games I've been focusing on, so I've sort of had to play it on the side. But I've been enjoying playing it on the side. But I'm gonna try stream it this week, so we'll see how little 4-5 hour session goes.
I'm kind of keen to see that because the thing I hear most about this game is just the combat system, and I've never actually seen footage of the combat system, so I'm kind of curious to see how it works.
The combat system, it was interesting going to it from Final Fantasy VII where that's like very much you have to dodge and balance like attacking and magic and everything. This one, the combat, like it's good, but it was an adjustment of my character just auto attacks. And then I'm just issuing commands. I'm in a party of 3, but you only control 1 at a time, your party leader. Everyone else kind of supports you. It was just a thing of getting used to and figuring out how the system works. But the more you play, the more you realize actually it's not just like an auto attack simulator. You need to be smart with your positioning, because some abilities do more if you're behind an enemy or on the enemy's side, for example.
Okay.
And just synchronizing with your teammates. Like, so for example, there's a system where I'm going to butcher the terms now, but you can basically you open up the enemy to be staggered, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they're staggered, someone else can do attack to daze them, which opens them up to more critical hits. And it's a lot to take in, but when you figure it out, it becomes really enjoyable, and it's almost therapeutic. It's like I run into battle, I know exactly what sequence to put in, and I just watch the magic happen.
That sounds awesome. Like, that actually sounds really cool. And it's a bit difficult to like sort of visualize. I think that's why I need to see it in action.
And I think I'm very bad at explaining. So yeah, have a look. I'll probably will stream it on Tuesday. So just pop in and see what the game looks like. Twitch.tv/Heronese.
Sweet.
Where else? Yeah, but look, I'm 30 hours in, and I think if you were to mainline the game, I've read that it playtime's like 70 hours. You know me, I'm like a dog with very short attention span. I'm like, oh, side quest. Oh, more side quests. Wow. I can't not do these side quests. They're there. So yeah, but I think the closer I get towards the end of the game, my typical thing is to just forget everything and go for the main objective.
Because you can feel like the climax coming. You're like, cool, I don't want this momentum to stop. Yeah,
but it's honestly been such a nice thing of, like I've said, if I know I'm just doing side stuff, I can just pick it up and whatever, just run towards that ingredient, pick it up, kill one or two things, and I'm done. Like, hand that quest in. Yeah, but it's a nice. It's like the perfect game actually to have on the Switch, purely for that reason. So yeah, and I think that was the general consensus when it was ported to 3DS back in the day as well.
Yeah,
it's like great for little quick sessions. You can play it for 10 hours if you want, but you can 100%.
Which is kind of amazing because it was never designed for that purpose. The fact that it transitioned well to that is pretty cool.
Yeah. So look, I'll do want to talk about the game more, but I still think I'm like early days. I think I'm on chapter 7, and I think there are 18. So like I'm not even halfway through the game.
This is sounding more and more like your Persona 5. Like you played over the space of a year or something, like I did.
Yeah,
which is fine. It's cool. There's something comforting coming back to something like periodically like that. So
yeah, that's me for this week.
Yeah, because you can't talk about Ghost of Sushi.
I can't, but Xenoblade is something I'll touch on over the coming weeks, because with all the games coming in, I just don't see myself sitting down and like finishing it. Not in the same way I'm doing The Last of Us or Ghost, where that's like, I feel that is an enclosed narrative. I mean, Ghost, yes and no, because it's also open world. But yeah, I'm gonna play Xenoblade on the side. It's my side bay.
It's your side bay.
It's side bay. Mm-hmm.
Cheating on Jin with Shulk.
With Shulk, yeah. And when I found the time, I need to also
trading a katana for a red anime blade.
The Monado.
The Monado.
The Monado.
Does the sword speak to you?
Play. Huh?
Does the sword speak to you?
It doesn't speak to me, no.
So it's not like the sword in Transistor.
It's very powerful, though.
I
need to find the time to play the Pokemon expansion as well.
Me too. Well, I'm still playing through Sword, normal traditional Sword, and enjoying it from time to time.
It's a good time.
It's a good game.
Yeah, but it's good. I think that's all we've been playing this week. A lot of
Sure.
stuff.
Should we get to game releases?
Game releases? Are there game releases? I ask this every week, and it turns out there's always like one or two, but are there really game releases?
I know later this month there definitely is. I don't know about this week in particular, but we shall see.
We shall see.
Let me just scroll down to, where are we? We're in July already, my goodness. So we are looking at game releases from July 4th, which is today, to July 10th.
Good
July
Lord.
10th, we've got like a handful. Whoa, this is out already? What the fuck? Okay, so
what is this?
So July 7th, Catherine Full Body coming to Switch. I love Catherine.
You played today, yeah.
I think it's cool. It's like 12-hour game. It's not like a Persona length game.
Oh boy.
I'm a bit like hot and cold on the puzzle element, but I think the story is fucking cool.
Really good.
I like it a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's coming to Switch. NASCAR Heat 5 coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One. If you like that NASCAR.
If you like driving in circles.
Yeah. Game for me, Formula 1 2020, coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One, July 10th. Very stoked for that.
But you've got Trackmania. How are you going to find time for your side bay?
So many racing games.
A lot of side bays.
Then this is the one that I didn't know was out so soon. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2.
Is that out?
Yeah,
no,
I feel like they just
Wasn't
announced
that
that the other day. Yeah.
Surely it can't be releasing. Is it not like an alpha or what?
Curse of the Moon 2 is coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch on July 10th, apparently.
I really still want to play Bloodstained Ritual of the Night because I've got it on Game Pass.
Yeah, me too. And apparently the first Curse of the Moon, I think, is like a prequel. And that's more like an NES style Metroidvania. And apparently it's really good, which is why they've made a second one. So,
okay. Cool. There's just a lot of games to play. Remember 3 months ago, and you're like, games just aren't going to come out this year. We'll have time to catch up on our backlog.
Yeah, they just whip out the sequel out of fucking nowhere here. Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town. I think Story of Seasons is like a Animal Crossing vibe thing, if I'm not mistaken. So that's coming to Switch and PC. And then Deadly Premonition 2, A Blessing in Disguise, coming to Switch on July 10th.
Let's not forget that we're probably going to play that as well.
Yeah, I should play the first one.
Too much.
Because
that's just too much.
I've heard like that game is just super weird and whatever. So I'm curious.
I saw some gameplay. It looks like
it looks bad.
Yeah, it's interesting look.
If I look at the reactions from everyone who played the first one, they're like, "Hell yeah, this looks awesome." I'm like, there must be something.
There's something we're missing here.
I'm missing something. Yeah,
but it's got like Resident Evil / Silent Hill vibes.
Yeah,
which I'm like,
except you can ride around on a skateboard.
That's so funny. I think you and I must have watched the same video. Wait, could you ride a skateboard in the first one as well?
I think so.
Because I was like, okay, Deadly Premonition 2 is coming out. Everyone's very excited for it. I have no idea what this game is. Let me look it up. Watch like the first 11 minutes of gameplay, skimp through it, and I'm like, at one point, I'm like, is the dude riding a skateboard down
is this
the road?
A joke?
What is going on?
It's super weird. But I have heard it's just weird. So yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a thing you have to try and just like embrace the weirdness, and then it's like I don't know, grows on you. I'm not sure.
That's so weird. Yeah,
we'll see. But that's all the games out this week. There's quite a few the last weeks of July. Yeah, it's quite a few. I mean, we've got a new Paper Mario coming out. There's a lot of cool indie games coming out that I'm excited for. Got Death Stranding on PC as well. So
is that out like next week or
soon, July
14th?
Yeah. The week after is like hectic. It's like Death Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima, Paper Mario, like big games.
Paper Mario is also.
Paper Mario and Ghost of Tsushima are on the same day.
There's too much.
Nintendo didn't give a fuck.
There's too much to play.
They're like, you want to play a cool samurai game? What about if you played as a folded Paper Mario?
What if you played as an Italian plumber instead, huh?
Yeah. And you're fighting origami mushrooms. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever, man. Shit. Look, I really did think that this year things would quieten down, but I was wrong. I think, and we've had a year. Like people saying, like, "Oh, what's happening the rest of the year?" I think the first half of the year has been pretty damn solid already. So.
Oh yeah, I think each month has had like a solid release.
Yeah.
I'm just looking ahead here. August seems a bit
I think August onward will be a bit quiet.
Yeah. And then it starts ramping up for the end of the year again then.
Oh no.
Yeah.
August is backlog month.
August is the time for the new consoles to be like, hey, what up?
We're alive. Yeah, what's up?
Hey, you up? Yeah.
Hey, you up? Yep, babe. Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
cool,
you
cool.
up? Want to come over?
Okay, sure. Well, speaking of Death Stranding coming to PC this week, We now have confirmation that Horizon Zero Dawn is in fact coming to PC.
Hell yes.
When is it coming? Isn't that August? No,
it's coming August 7th.
Oh, okay. So August isn't as quiet as we thought it was.
Yeah.
And here's a neat thing. Okay, so if you're a South African listener, which most of you are, our Steam store, I don't know. There's some tomfoolery with the region pricing. So overseas, how much does it cost? Like $50, $40? What is it?
Yeah, it's a $50 release.
$50 in South Africa, it's like 270 rand.
Yeah.
Which is, if you've never played Horizon Zero Dawn, even if you have, it's an absolute steal.
It's a complete steal.
I cannot believe it's that cheap here.
Yeah, you should. I mean, that to me is a no-brainer. Like it is. I think it's a really, really cool open world game with some phenomenal combat. So
some of the funnest combat in any open world game. It's
definitely the best bow and arrow combat.
Yeah, and it's probably unlike anything you've played before, purely from a weapon perspective. Like there's no other game that comes to mind where you have to peg an enemy down or use
shoot bits off them and then you use the weapons back on. Like taking down some of the bigger enemies in that game is just incredibly satisfying.
Strip that armor off and just get to their heart, man.
It feels so
Easy
good.
Peasy.
Those what were they? Were they like concussion arrows that just sonic boom pieces off?
Sonic boom armor off.
So satisfying.
So that's coming to PC. So get hyped for that.
Yeah, and it's the complete edition. So it's got Frozen Wilds and it's got some additional content on there. But it's also better frame rate. They've added some features like more reactive vegetation and better reflections and stuff. And this week we also got first hands-on previews for Death Stranding on PC started coming out. And the thing that was driven home was man, this engine scales really well on PC. There are people,
same engine.
Yeah, there are people playing that game at 4K at 60 frames per second on the lowest RTX card. Because the DLSS, the new version of it, just works so well. It keeps the image sharp. So yeah, Horizon's on the same engine, so I'm expecting equally good performance on there, which, the game ran fine on PlayStation 4. It was a solid 30 frames per second, whatever, but I really kind of want to play it at a higher frame rate more than anything.
See, now we've got Death Stranding and Horizon coming to PC. Which one are you replaying?
Oh God, I still it's been so close to Death Stranding that I feel like I'm not in the mood to replay it again. Whereas Horizon came out more than 3 years ago, and I haven't played it since launch. So
can I tell you, if you put them side by side like that, I'm like, Death Stranding, I just cannot see myself replaying it. Not for a long time. Even if ever, I'm I've lived through the story. It was a good time. I really enjoyed it, but I just don't see myself even going back to it on PC.
It's a hard sell to replay.
Whereas Horizon, I'm that combat's really fun, and I played it also 2 years ago now.
Because you played it
after it very late. You've probably played it much longer. It's your playtime was a lot further back then, I think.
I platinumed it when it came out, and then I played the expansion when that came out, which I think was later that year. I think it came out in November of launch year. So I haven't really played it since end of 2017. So I'm super keen to just give it another go. And more than likely, I'm going to play 5 or 10 hours of it on PC and be yeah, that's cool.
Nice. Yeah, cool.
That's a pretty fucking game. Cool. What's next?
Nice. Move on.
That's generally how ports of games. I bought Fallen Order on PC, and I was man, this plays a lot better on PC. Haven't played much of it since. Yeah.
And then Bloodborne comes to PC, and then what happens?
You replay
that whole. You replay that whole game.
I'll play that whole game again. Zero fucks given.
God damn. What other news was there?
2K did a weird thing this week. They announced the new NBA for next gen, or they showed off the cover star. So two things. They are not buying into the smart delivery system on Xbox One and whatever the fuck it will be called on PlayStation 5. So If you buy a copy of NBA 2K on current gen, it will not go over to next gen, which makes their second announcement make a bit more sense. The next gen version of the game is $10 more. It will be $70 at launch. So a lot of people ran with this and were like, it's finally happening. Games are getting more expensive. I don't know if one game is exactly the trend yet, whether it will be across the board. And we have seen this at console launches before, where games that come to the consoles at launch are sometimes priced a bit higher. They're priced higher under the guise of this is a deluxe edition, whatever, but really it's just an increase and then it goes back to the standard price. Yeah.
Although, look, I don't particularly want games to get more expensive, but we need to remember that games have cost AAA games have cost $60 for
since
decades
2005.
now.
2005.
So, what wasn't it? Haven't that always been $60?
No,
was it cheaper before?
Before then, they were more expensive.
Oh, okay. Sorry, no, but that's what I'm getting at. Like,
yeah,
it's weird how games have sort of been on the same or become cheaper.
Yeah,
it's like
because like in the early 2000s, or like 1990s, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was more
out of the
expensive,
question
right?
to pay like $100 for a
Exactly.
Nintendo game. Yeah, and then it was
like,
around
just imagine that
2005
back-
where it standardized at like 60.
But just imagine paying $100 in like the early 90s.
Yo, that was a lot of money.
That was a lot of cash money. And then people out here bitching today, like, no, the consoles can't cost $500, $600. Like,
yeah,
okay.
I mean,
cool.
games. If you just plug $60 into an inflation calculator, games should be around $80 nowadays. It should be, and you take into account the astronomical increases in game development costs, which is a bit self-imposed because it's this weird like tug of war. Like players want games to be better. They want to make the sort of production that is expected of a AAA game nowadays is just so high, and that costs money. And it's something that developers push themselves to do just to make them look better and better. So the fact that we've stayed on $60 while budgets have like quadrupled in the same time, something's got to give eventually. Either we get used to lower budget AAA titles or the cost of them goes up. One of the two.
I mean, how much do you think it costs to make The Last of Us 2?
Oh my God, I don't even want to know.
I mean, that must have cost a fair bit of moolah.
Yeah, must be over 100, 200 million probably. It's a lot of money. Yeah. And they'll recoup it, but it's a lot of money, and it's a lot of risk with money like that. So, yeah. But I don't know if that's going to be the standard. Everyone seems to think that's going to be the new standard, and it's a price increase, but it's been coming. I just know that from a local perspective, games are going to get super expensive very quickly. It's already happening. There's already pre-orders up for games coming out later this year that are like 1,300 rand. So
that is a very difficult pill to swallow.
Yeah,
Holy
it's tough.
Heck.
Like I get it from a consumer perspective. Like I would struggle to convince myself to buy that. Even 1,000 at launch is tough for me to swallow.
Well, I mean, there's a reason before we started getting review games. When we started the podcast, I mean, we got given a lot of shit because all I spoke about was old games. I wasn't receiving review games. I was only buying stuff that was nice and affordable. Yeah,
we were not getting review code for a good 6-7 months when we started. So, yeah, I mean, I understand. Like, I still buy games when I can, but like I bought Doom Eternal on the Steam sale this week because I'm just like I can't justify 900 rand at launch, and I waited for it to go on sale. Like, I feel like more and more people are doing that. So, 1,400 rand. I think the price I saw that for was for like Crash Bandicoot, which is like obscene.
How big of a fan are you?
Yeah, Jesus, it's really testing my fandom.
If you don't buy it day one, you're not a real fan. I think you can just throw your fandom in the bin, just like that.
You're making this really hard.
No, don't do it. Don't waste your money. No, don't waste your money. Don't spend so much cash.
Don't spend so much. Ubisoft revealed a new battle royale called Hyperscape. I keep thinking it's Hyperspace, but it's Hyperscape.
It's Hyperscape. They looked at the ecosystem of gaming and they thought, what gaming could use more of? More battle
royale. Yeah. Definitely.
Look,
I mean, I've been struggling. I just have so little choice with battle royales.
What do you have? You only have the likes of like PUBG and Apex and Warzone and all the. I mean, it's like slim pickings. Like
very slim.
It's like small guys. Look, so Hyperscape, new battle royale. I'm going to go out and say that it does look really cool.
It does.
As much naysaying as I'm giving Ubisoft, it looks really cool. And I do think what I do like with all the battle royales that have come, they tend to see what didn't work in the previous battle royales and they improve on it and they bring new ideas. So I'm curious to see how this one plays out now. Like, because they've like iterated over many battle royales now. Like, the good example is when Apex came out, it like completely streamlined the looting thing. Like, you pick up stuff, it's on your weapon. Oh, wait, no, is it Apex? I'm not wrong, right? Yeah.
No, Apex, yeah, your sights and everything are on there. You only put on like an enhancement, like one but it auto equips them. Stuff.
Yeah, it streamlined that. So that's the sort of optimization I'm talking about. And then Warzone, for example, one thing it's done, it's like people play battle royales, they die, and then they're kind of done with the game. So they're like, I'll solve that as the gulag. We'll give you a second shot to getting back into the game. Maybe make that a bit more fair. So they're always bringing new ideas based on what's seen before. So I do want to see what Hyperscape brings to the table in that regard.
So I was watching a few streams of it, and it seems like it's got some really cool ideas. From what I can tell, it's more a arena shooter focused take on battle royale. So like the player I was watching was partial to the sniper, and there's no like bullet drop or anything like that. It's like it's almost like a rail gun.
Yeah.
And you pick up weapons around the map. They are static weapons. You don't put on attachments and whatever. And the way you level up weapons is by finding duplicates. So if you have a sniper and then you find another sniper, you pick up that sniper and now your sniper's level 2 type of thing.
But even that's an interesting optimization.
Exactly, yeah. So it keeps... So it's not like, okay, cool, I found the weapons I wanted in the first 5 minutes. You still have to keep hunting for them to get better ones.
Yeah.
I think the thing... So you've also got like hero powers. You can... Your powers are found in the map, so it's not character specific. So
okay.
There's one where it's like go invisible or armor up or leap into the air or heal, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The thing that I think is most interesting is the respawn and death mechanics. So when you die, you become like a ghost that can run around the map. So other players can't see you, you can't interact with them, but you can spot them for teammates. Like you can run around the area and spot them for teammates. And the way you respawn is you have to find a dead body. So it can be the one where you died, the spot where you died. But say if you die and then the area goes, dark because of the circle or whatever, your teammate has to kill someone and then you have to go into their body and that's how they revive you.
Okay,
so it's quite interesting. It's quite an interesting mechanic that I think is clever. It's another spin on that sort of thing. It's also interesting that so many battle royales now are going for teams of 3. I know Apex does it. Hyperscape is a 3-player thing.
I think it's just a balancing thing. 3 seems to be the sweet spot.
Yeah,
I wherever hero
sweet,
abilities and things are concerned, it seems to be.
Yeah, because I think 4 feels a bit too crowded, and then 2 feels like too little. So
yeah.
But it looks cool. It's early in the technical test. I don't know. Ubisoft's hosting their stream, I think on the 14th of July. So I'm pretty sure we'll hear more about it then.
Ubisoft
Forward, yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
Some quick things here. We've got Amazon is making a Fallout TV show with the creators of Westworld behind it. So
cool.
Please stand by. What's weird to me is like one. Fallout's story isn't really the stories; it's more the setting. The setting is cool. So I'm curious to see what sort of story they do within that setting.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like Fallout is 100%. Well, it's like what would happen if the nukes did drop, whatever. You know, how do people survive in this world? And you do in all the games, you do meet interesting characters and groups and this and that. And you know, it's almost like as fun as the combat can be with the VAT system, like that's almost become secondary to the setting in some ways. So yeah, like when they announced the show, I was like, that's weird, but I'm like, yeah, but it could be really interesting. Like
it could be, yeah. And I think having the creators of Westworld behind it is clever because I think they kind of get how the setting is a character, because the first Westworld, which is my favorite season, is just like, it was so cool because it was this weird, strange setting, and that itself was like a vessel for everything else. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see. There's no release date or anything. They were just kind of like, "Hey, we are doing this." So, yeah.
Yep.
The Xbox Series X first-party showcase is apparently happening on July 23rd, and just before, that happens, Microsoft curiously renewed the Fable trademark. Now, this doesn't usually mean anything, because it's like, of course they would renew it because they don't want it falling into fair use or
Yeah.
But they renewed it with a clause that says intent to use. So that means they're on a countdown. They have 3 years to produce something that makes use of that trademark, and it could be something as small as a mobile game or merchandise or whatever. But like, we've been hearing since 2008 that Playground Games is working on an RPG, and that it's probably Fable. So it just seems all very coincidental. Given the timing. So I definitely think we're going to see a Fable at the first party showcase this month, which is cool because I really like Fable 1 and Fable 2 and 3 were fine.
I have not played a Fable, but I think Fable 1 I remember, my friend Quentin, he like loved that game, swore by it, played it a lot.
I love the first Fable.
I just never played it.
It's really, really fun. I feel like 2 and 3 simplified the RPG elements way too much, and that's why I didn't vibe with them. But the first one is like a very whimsical sort of RPG, but it's like really fun. Really cool combat. Just a really cool game. Okay. Resident Evil Village isn't called Resident Evil 8. That's it. That's
but why?
People have got really mad at me on Twitter about this, just because I wrote the news story.
What did you write?
Like the headline is Resident Evil Village isn't Resident Evil 8. Capcom insists, and they're like, but it is. I'm like,
look,
yes, it's the 8th installment, but this is literally what Capcom is telling me. Like, don't fucking come at me with your shit. Like, I didn't name this game. I'm just reporting.
That is 100% the same as the Last of Us 2 voice actress getting shit on for playing the character. Like, you're just passing on the message. Like,
I'm passing on the message that Capcom doesn't want to. They're like, oh, the 8 Roman numerals in the trailer. I'm like, I know, I watched the trailer, but Capcom is saying it's Resident Evil Village.
It's a clever little tip of the cap saying like, we know it's number 8, but it's not number 8.
Yeah, they're like, so the quote from an interview with Famitsu is literally like, they hope that players abbreviate the game with Village and not RE8. So they even want the abbreviation to not feature the number 8. Like, the official title has no number in it. It's just Resident Evil Village.
Okay, but people must just
people must calm the fuck down.
No, people must throw their toys. It's a hill worth dying on. Okay.
So Resident Evil Village is going to be a direct sequel to Resident Evil 7, but it's also going to act as the conclusion to that story. So Ethan Winter's story. So
I mean, we've only really seen Ethan for one game. So
that dude seems like he just stumbled on, like he was having a good time. He was married, he was happy. Then his wife went missing, and now everything just then he fucking made friends with the wrong Redfield, and now shame.
Poor guy, man. Poor guy. What other news is there? This I love. I love and hate this. Crisis Remastered is coming. Okay. I don't know if it was leaked or announced, but I know that it meant to be out soon.
Well,
I think.
the trailer. They had announced it. They were going to show the first gameplay trailer this week, and then it leaked like 2 days before.
Okay, so it leaked. But then, what happened is that people thought that the quality of the trailer looked kind of bad.
Mm.
So, Crysis Remastered has been delayed due to people hating on the leaked trailer.
Basically, they announced this an hour before the trailer was meant to go live. They were like,
"This is
we hear our fans, and we are delaying the game so that it can be what was the quote? The console and PC breaking experience you expect."
Okay.
Right. Yeah, because I saw the trailer. I was like, yeah, that looks like Crysis, but it doesn't really look that different. Like, it doesn't look...
Yeah.
Doesn't look like markedly better or worse than what it did. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. If it runs better, I'm happy. But some people are like, fuck this. Doesn't look as good as it could. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't care either way because I've played Crysis and it's fine. So
I enjoyed Crysis, but I'm like,
I enjoyed it.
It's, again, not a hill worth me dying on. I'm like, yeah,
exactly.
Cool.
Again, it's something I buy and play an hour of and be like, yeah, that's prettier. And then just
this week's trend is that gamers get mad over everything. Okay? Yeah. People just throw their shits.
This was a weird thing. Amazon's Crucible released backwards.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, so we played this a few weeks ago. I reviewed it for GameSpot. Crucible's like a sort of like shooter MOBA from Amazon. And seems it was received so badly that they're putting it back into closed beta while they fix it, which is the first time in my life that I've seen a game go from release back into closed beta.
I think, was it Jason Schreier? I think he said it's the first time in like history that's ever happened. I don't know if that's true.
It's bizarre. It's really fucking bizarre.
It's a very weird thing.
We literally had to put an amendum on my review being like, this game was out. It's not anymore. You can't actually play it, but it was out, and we reviewed it when it was out. So, really bizarre.
Here's his tweet. So he says, Amazon's new game Crucible flopped so badly that they're unreleasing it, ? I've never seen anything like this before. It's going from release game to closed beta.
Yeah, it's...
Shit, it's
wild. Like, I do hope that gives them the time to make it better, because I do think there's potential there, but I think
there's potential there for sure, but just in execution, you and I both felt like it lacks a lot. So
it'll need to be something really special, like when it re-releases to like, I think, make a mark again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do wonder. I'm like, at what point do you say the game flops and you just move on, or do they have like a roadmap or an approach like, listen, okay, we know this is a problem. How about we address it with X, Y, Z? Because like, I don't know, like, is it going to, not every game has to do this, but is it going to set the world on fire? Like, I don't know. It's a difficult genre to be in. Like, it's trying something different, but shit, I don't know. It's,
I don't know. It's weird. Amazon is continually keeps swinging and missing with their game ventures, so I don't know.
Yep.
Weird.
Who knows?
I think that's news.
I think that's news.
That's news.
A lot of questions to get
If
through.
you want to send us one of those many questions, you can email us, checkpointchatpodcast@gmail.com. You can tweet or Instagram DM us at any point at Checkpoint Chat on both Twitter and Instagram. Send us TikToks.
TikTok us. Why are you like this? Okay, so we had a question.
One day we're going to get this fucking fire TikTok, and you're going to be glad that I push people towards it.
I should actually just get Checkpoint Chat sorted out, and we've got to look at it like, whoa, we've really got 300,000 followers. How did that happen? What's going on?
We've got a million messages of people sending us TikToks. Yeah.
So we had a question earlier this week from MJ Khan. He says, rate the Arkham games from best to worst. And, okay, that's question one. I feel like we've answered this before. Because I remember saying I haven't finished all the Batman games. I've only played Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. I've touched Origins, but I've not played Arkham Knight. So I'm leaving this all on you to rate the Arkham games from best to worst. Which is the best one?
I think they're all good. Like, there is no bad game in this list. But if I had to rank them, I'd go first Arkham Asylum, then Arkham Knight, then Arkham Origins, then Arkham City.
Oh wow, Arkham City's the one you rate the lowest of all of them.
But again, like Arkham City is like an incredible game. It's just like
because
I like Arkham Origins' story a bit better. Arkham Knight is just like a perfect sort of realization of being a Batman simulator. And I think Arkham Asylum's setting hasn't been surpassed. Yet.
So I've only played Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, so I loved both. But I think Arkham City just stands a little bit above me purely because it was an open world Batman game.
Yeah, that transition to
really
open world
good.
is awesome. Yeah, really cool.
I remember just going through that city and just doing as many Riddler things as I could do, looking up Easter eggs online because. I mean, Arkham Asylum teased the next game by having a destructible wall in a random spot that showed like a model of Arkham City. And I was like, these developers leave cool Easter eggs. So I looked up a lot of shit. And again, in Arkham City, there were tons of cool little nods and Easter eggs. Because I know I'm probably the average Batman viewer where I know Batman's story. I know most of the villains, whatever. But there's so many that I don't know, and just reading up on them and finding shit was just fascinating.
That's the thing I appreciate about those games as well, is like the Riddler trophies often unlock character bios, and it's just like really cool reading about Batman lore that I had no idea about. So
yeah, I learned about Calendar Man. What can I say?
Yeah, weird. Yeah, Calendar Man and Ventriloquist, which was also strange. And the shark guy.
The shark guy. Okay, that is that. That was one question. MJ Khan's next question is which licensed cars should appear on Rocket League?
Ooh,
that's an interesting one because just
there's
so
a
you
couple
guys know,
already there.
Yeah. So for example, the DeLorean is a vehicle in Rocket League, and actually on Batman, I think the Batmobile, if I'm not mistaken, is a vehicle.
I think it's. Oh, hi, Lupin. What are you doing? I think the Joel Schumacher Batmobile is there from back in the day, which is pretty cool. What cars would I like to see there?
It ought to be pretty cool is the I'm going to get the name so wrong, but the vehicle from Ghostbusters.
Okay. I think it is in there, the Echo One.
Is it in there? No way. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of it.
Now that you mentioned it, I seem to recall an event, a Ghostbusters event, where they added the Echo. I think it's Echo One, yeah.
It's kind of hard to type when Lupin's sitting right next to me here. Why you like this, Lupin? I don't think it is. Let me just see.
Is it not?
Here. Maybe.
I might be wrong. I might be remembering something.
Rocket League. No, you're right. There it is. Ecto 1 Battle Car DLC.
Oh,
okay, so it is there.
1. Okay.
My bad. So maybe that's why I had it in the back of my mind. I was like, that'd be pretty cool. It exists.
I think one that also exists, which is cool, is the Knight Rider car. That's in there.
Shit, that's actually... I'd never thought that Rocket League is the perfect platform to just introduce these iconic vehicles. Like, what else could we put in that game?
I should get Mr. T's van from the A-Team. That'd be pretty cool.
The hitbox on that thing would be so big.
Exactly. And then every time you score, it just says, instead of what a goal, it just says pity the fool.
Pity the fool.
Exactly. What's another one?
I think of what other good vehicles
a Hummer. That'd be cool.
Oh my word.
Hitbox on that would be
now you're just going for big hitbox.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, you know what you should put in? Put that Tesla, the box one. That'd be like the perfect crossover. Yeah.
Hell yes. Hell yes. Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
The Cybertruck. A Formula 1 car would be cool, I think. I think just the shape lends itself to...
Yeah.
I want like a toy version of a Formula 1 car in there.
From Vroom.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair offering of answers on that.
And then if you're from Benoni, of course, you want the Golf GTI in there. So, yeah.
Where the heck is my phone? I need to go get my phone.
I thought you were looking for your cat. I was like, your cat's right there.
He's right. I did this last time.
I just see... It's funny. I just see his ears.
Well, I cannot tell you, he's sitting right next to me, just staring like...
Yeah, I just see his ears, and he's like, please give me attention.
Please give me lap. Yeah, he is. He's like, can I just sleep on your lap? Okay, let's start with all the email questions. I know we had 2 on Instagram, but we'll get to that. So we have 9 questions from Megs, who, coincidentally, I actually heard for the first time this week because we played Counter-Strike together. Take that.
Cool.
I met Megs before you.
Wow.
Okay, so question 1 from Megs.
Is he good at Counter-Strike?
Did he?
Is he good at Counter-Strike?
No, he's new to the game. So he's still learning the game.
So he's like me. It's terrible.
He's like you. No, it's overwhelming. There's a lot to take in.
Actually, I'm worse because I've played Counter-Strike for many hours and I'm still bad.
It's still bad, damn.
Yeah.
Okay, question one from Migs. He says, during the start of The Last of Us Part 2, Alessandro mentioned the games were supplied by Gamefinity. Who are Gamefinity and what happened to Stir Chemical? Did Stir Chemical leave the Sony roulette table, cash out and leave the console casino?
No, Gamefinity is a subsidiary of Stir Chemical. I don't know why it changed names or whatever, but basically Stir Chemical's game stuff is run under Gamefinity and they still operate out of Stir Chemical's offices. So maybe it was just a diversification sort of thing. Maybe, yeah. But it's the same company, same people. Same awesome people there. So, yeah.
Question
some
2.
Some inside business news there.
What?
Some inside business news there.
Oh, my. What does mint condition mean? Why use the word mint to describe the excellent condition of an item when the plant or product that contains mint is not involved or offered?
That is
I definitely would like a great
very good question.
That came with a box of peppermint crisp slabs.
That's a good question. I've never thought of that.
I could be wrong, but it might lean into the fact that mint is associated with fresh. I don't know. I'm just guessing here.
Mint condition meaning. I think it might have to do with making coins. You know, like minting a coin.
Minted. Yeah. Okay, that makes far more sense.
In mint condition is an expression used to denote the quality of pre-earned good as just. Where does it come from? And condition. I'm just getting examples. Like I know what it means.
I've asked Len. It's good to get my phone in the meantime because she's like, "Where is it?" I'm like, I have no idea.
Originally, the phrase related to the way collectors describe the condition of coins. As the name given to a coin factory is a mint, then mint condition is the condition a coin is in when it leaves the mint. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so just throw my
mint condition would be like it came out from the mint, so the coin is like brand new or looking good. So
yeah,
that makes sense.
Okay, so the question. So I was distracted because Len's handed me my phone. I see I have messages asking what I want to eat.
Oh, you getting Franco's?
No, not Franco's. You're getting some toasted salamis for brunch. Ooh. Question 3. Why do people scream, shriek, Figaro, gasp, Barbosa, moan, curse when the lights, electricity fail in a public space? I can understand children doing this, but why do the adults do it as well?
I think
the opening of that question confused the hell out of me.
I think it's just like it's almost like a collective sigh of resignation. You're just like, oh, type of thing.
No, but I'm with Mix. I've heard people go like,
like actually be surprised?
Like power failures are not an uncommon occurrence in South Africa. Like maybe
especially,
in the mall, because like generators, whatever.
It gets so dark as well so quickly. Yeah.
Good Lord.
It is a bit scary. You know what I don't like is when you're at a restaurant and like a waiter drops a glass and everyone goes, hey, and claps. Like, fuck off. Like,
what?
You're just making fun of this person. I've been at restaurants where like a glass will break and people will just clap. Like, what's wrong with you? Get out of here.
Has this always happened in a Greek restaurant?
Okay, no, that's where it's purposefully done. That's where they throw the plates at each other.
In some Greek restaurants around the whole globe, there are waiters dropping glasses and people celebrate like, hey, Ippa.
Oppa! I've this like seared memory of like being at a Greek restaurant as a kid and not understanding why everyone was throwing plates on the floor. It was a very confusing thing to me.
Look, it doesn't matter what culture you look at. There are many things that happen where if you sit and you break them down, like, why do people do that?
Yeah. Why are we doing this? Like,
why are we breaking plates and all these other things?
Very strange. It's like at a Jewish wedding, they stand on a glass.
Yeah. Why are we stopping?
Why?
Like,
I know there's a reason, but yeah.
But I mean, it's like when Lenska and I got married, she did a lot of research into the actual meanings of why things happen. And you think throwing the bouquet or doing rice, whatever, is just like it's a fun thing. Like, no, it's rooted in something. Like throwing I could be butchering this, but throwing the garter comes from the tradition of throwing a piece of the bride's wedding dress.
Yes.
It is something to do with if you. No, I'm not even going to go into it. I think I'm going to butcher it. But it's
See,
got an
I should remember
age-old-
this because I was meant to introduce it.
Let me summon the professional. She'll explain it. Come talking to the microphone.
So it used to.
You have to be closer. So.
It used to be seen as good luck to steal a piece of the bride's wedding dress. So guests used to like completely trash the bride's dress, trying to like tear off pieces of it.
Oh God.
So that's why. So what used to happen is that they would keep a piece of fabric of the bride's dress and they would throw that, and then that later turned into the throwing of the garter.
Oh, just so they didn't trash the bride's dress.
Now tell us about bridesmaids. The dark history of that one.
So bridesmaids were. So there was two reasons. So it was thought that like evil spirits would try get to the bride. So all the bridesmaids would also wear wedding dresses to confuse the evil spirits. And the second reason was that like way back when, if you so once you had consummated the marriage, that was actually when you were married. So often brides would be stolen and raped, and then money would whatever it's called, money would have to be given to the groom's family, but it's not really the groom. So it was like a way to get money.
So like holding them
another
hostage.
reason why you had bridesmaids would be to confuse the public on who the bride was.
Jesus.
I don't know if I explained it.
And there's your dark history
Marriage
of some of our
marriage
wedding
is
traditions.
dark. Wow.
Yeah. You think bridesmaids are cute and throwing the garters
My
hilarious?
God.
Yeah, that's the history of.
I think I was meant to remember the garter story, but at that point in your wedding, I was
You were
gone.
lit on whiskey. So
I was lit. I was so
it's
lit.
actually funny because at the wedding, I think you were meant to, and then Lex is like, actually, I'll just explain it.
Yeah, I started explaining it, and my brain just stopped. My brain just like it was late. It was like near the end of the wedding, and my brain was just like, you know, that like little monkey with the symbol. He just stopped clamming those things in his head. Like
she said, she realizes that is the first time she realized the whole evening that you were actually very drunk.
That is legitimately the last thing I remember about that evening. I do not recall getting home. I do not recall getting into my bed. I got super lit on whiskey. After my obligations were done.
Yes, you did
I
an excellent job, and then you let go.
Well. Then I let go. When your wedding plan was like, cool, we're done. I was like, fuck yeah. Woo, party time. And then Lent was like, oh, you needed to still do this. I was like, oh no.
Like, damn it. Okay, question 4.
That ship has sailed.
What are your guys' thoughts on microwaves you prefer to use? Do you use the modern
microwaves?
Microwaves. Do you use the modern but considered fairly old now types that have several buttons to input the time, etc., or the old type that only has one button to open the door and 2 knobs to select the type of function to perform, hot, defrost, etc., and the duration of that function? Hang on. What would you like your next microwave to be able to do or look like? Would you go for a radical design such as a Lamborghini contact door type in a bull red fury color?
Oh shit, that would be cool.
Oh my gosh, this is a long question. Or a new function such as press the AI button and the microwave determines what item you place inside and either rejects because drunken Alessandro put in a metal object into the microwave again, or heats up the Franco's cold lasagna that Matty put in.
I would like an AI microwave. That sounds really cool. And one with like a reverse oven door. You know, like how the oven door, like you pull it down and you pull it up. Scissor door or whatever.
Well, see, we have access to both. Okay, so in our cottage, we have a modern microwave which has, it's a small one because we live in a cottage and space is limited. It's got buttons, like you can put in the time, you can choose what you're defrosting, whatever. No one ever uses that. Okay, that is a lie. People only ever use the time.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
If you go into Lenska's parents' house, though, they have an old microwave that has the knobs that Megs is speaking of. And again, it's literally like you just turn the timer and you don't ever change the other setting because no one uses a defrost or anything. And that is a fact, and don't at me.
I've never, I have a microwave with all these fucking buttons that I've never pressed in my life. Like, all I do is put something in and just press start, so it does 30 seconds, and then I just press start again to keep adding 30 seconds. That's all I do. That's the only button I press on my microwave.
Actually, now that you mentioned it, I don't even put the time in anymore either. I literally just push the button and do 30-second increments. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I do.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. The future of microwaves, okay? One button. You
Yeah,
cut costs. We don't need these fancy features, just one.
It should be one
maybe
button.
two, okay? One to put it on and one to open the door. Literally, that's it.
It's ridiculous that we have this, like, here's the setting for chicken, here's for fish, here's for the... Who the fuck uses that? No one uses it. Tell you.
No one
if you
uses
use
it.
that, tell me. I want to know how I'm meant to be using this incredibly amazing piece of tech in my kitchen. Because really, I just use one button.
It's literally one button.
Yeah.
Question 5. Do you guys still have paper encyclopedias? I currently have 3 at home. Britannica, Funk, and Wagnalls. Funk and Wagnalls.
I do
Peanuts,
not know
Snoopy,
those other two.
I do not know those other two. I can tell you that before my mom sold the house, we had a full encyclopedia set.
That's cool.
From, I think the year was 94.
Damn.
Which is, it's a long time ago, but let me tell you, that set was invaluable before the internet. That helped me and my brother and sister through many a school project, because it didn't matter what you looked up, that encyclopedia, that set had it.
Yeah.
Even if it either had a whole lot of pages on a subject or even a paragraph, which is enough back then. You couldn't just Google shit. We used to go to the wall of knowledge that had encyclopedias.
The tomes of knowledge.
And the tomes of knowledge. And for those of you who might not know, it is literally like every letter of the alphabet had a book.
Yes.
And you just look up something.
Every letter was like, the book was big. Like,
the book was thick. Yeah, we had a whole shelf, like one whole row was just encyclopedias.
I don't think I ever owned the encyclopedias, but the library at the school I went to had them, and we used them a lot for that. Yeah.
I mean, and my mom hung on to those until the house was sold last year. Yeah, beginning of last year. I don't think she sold them. She might have donated them because who's going to buy?
Yeah.
Like unless you're a hardcore collector, you're not
Outdated,
gonna,
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's it's just like a sort of cool like thing to remember, like part of your childhood that is completely redundant now. Like kids of not even kids of today, kids of like born in the year 2000 will not fucking understand that shit.
No. I mean, towards the end of high school like that, I had internet access. I could look up stuff.
I do remember in school using not internet access, but digital versions of encyclopedias, so like Encarta or something like that. Yeah,
Encarta was a big thing. But in primary school, like I remember doing many projects and like digging through the encyclopedias to find out more.
I do remember, I think I was in like grade 6 or 7 at the time when Wikipedia launched, and it was just like this like flashpoint where like even teachers didn't really know what the fuck to do because like people were just handing in projects that were straight up Wikipedia articles, and it was like, what the hell? Yeah,
what is this? Yeah, I still like I get why it's not academically accepted, but I still find it wild that if you hand in a project at varsity, like your source cannot be Wikipedia. Like I acknowledge it, but I'm like, but Wikipedia is mostly accurate anyway. It's
just because it can be edited by anyone.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, question 6. Have you guys tried out or regularly use Marmite and or Bovril and or Vegemite?
Gross.
I dislike them all.
Yeah, I dislike them all. I think they're all gross.
As a kid, I think I used to enjoy Marmite.
Yeah.
But like, I have memories from nursery school eating Marmite, and even then I was like, it's edible. Not my favorite.
I've never liked it.
I've never eaten it by choice ever again.
The only time I've found Vegemite acceptable, someone used it when we went camping. They used it when cooking like pasta to give it a bit of taste, which was fine. That was okay. But like any of that shit on bread, I've always just been like, this is disgusting.
Don't put Vegemite on pasta. Put something better like pesto. It's just simple. You know,
I mean, we were camping, so
or feta. You didn't carry a bottle of feta with you?
Feta on pasta.
Yeah, you break it up. It's so nice.
So what? You just have like fresh pasta and feta?
Oh no, not just feta. It supplements whatever. So if you have like a pesto
okay,
pasta.
Yeah. I just thought you meant like fresh pasta, olive oil, and feta. I'm like, that's weird.
I mean, that could work.
It could work, but it would be a bit difficult to eat, I think.
Good Lord. Question 7. Do you think it's worth it to buy a 4/8K TV with HDMI 2.1 compatible ports to get the 120Hz refresh rate on the PlayStation 5 Xbox Series X when you have an older 4K TV dated 2019 or older?
This is a question I'm grappling with at the moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I don't know. So for those of you who don't know, newer TVs, there are already TVs out there I know the higher end LG OLEDs support it already, but HDMI 2.1 is a new HDMI standard, which basically means it will accept signals from HDMI devices that are able to transmit a lot more information with the new bandwidth. So 4K at 120 frames per second, so 4K over HDMI, because right now you can only do that with DisplayPort because of technical limitations. And also the big thing that's added with 2.1 is variable refresh rate support over HDMI. So if you've ever owned a FreeSync or G-Sync monitor nowadays, you'll know that that functionality only works with DisplayPort. It does not work over HDMI. So those are the two big things that are coming, and the fact that the new console supported is a big thing. But obviously you need a TV that supports it. So I don't know. I think just like 4K, it will become a common thing, like all new TVs, because it's just a new standard. It's not like, I mean, the panel will need to support it as well, but like it will just become a thing eventually. And it's now in the high-end models of TVs, and it will just become commonplace. And that's why I think the consoles that are marketing it as marquee features, like, yeah, it's cool to say this console's going to do 120 frames per second or 4K 60. It's like the very, 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 very small minority of people actually have hardware that will support that, you know? It's the same as like being like, oh, PC games run at 4K. It's like Steam surveys show that not even 10% of players play at 4K. Yeah. So who the fuck cares?
Who cares, man?
And this was my argument about the Xbox lockout rumors that were going around last week and this week. Like, people like, why would anyone buy a next-gen console that doesn't do 4K? It's like, because not everyone has a 4K TV. Like,
I don't have a 4K TV. So
why pay that premium if it's going to be a $500-$600 console? Why pay that for something that you cannot right now support? Like, I think giving players the choices is a great option. So
and besides, we're in that phase now where, like, when HD was a thing, it was a transition period. We may be in the same point now where 4K is not just the standard. It might be.
It's not yet, yeah,
but it's definitely not at this stage. So
it's still transitioning. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you got to think back to when the Xbox 360 launched. It launched without an HDMI port.
Exactly.
Like, the PS3 launched with an HDMI port, and it was only iterations afterwards. I think the slim Xbox 360 had an HDMI port. Like, that just shows you how, and that wasn't that long ago, that HDMI wasn't even a standard. So I think if you have the money, go for it, because the TVs that currently support 2.1 are like phenomenal TVs, but like I don't think you need it yet.
Yeah. Save your money, Migs. Wait. Just wait. Okay. Question 8, second last one. Alessandro, 2 weeks ago, I encountered my very first Dolby Vision title on the PC. Ooh. Need for Speed Heat, aka Need for Speed 22. That's pretty accurate. Either EA does not know how to use it, or it's a software issue, but in-game cutscenes don't seem to know how bright or how dark the scene should be. Imagine this. Plot exposition is being unfolded, and the director is sending instructions to the illumination crew to increase the brightness of the lighting, then issues instructions to dim the lighting a few seconds later. This just repeats it several times.
Oh, God.
Otherwise, gameplay, all is fine. That is hilarious. I need to see footage, Megs.
I've never seen a Dolby Vision game before.
But imagine you watching a movie and someone on set is just putting the lights on and off.
Like one of those ones, like the little chain. Tick tock, tick
damn
tock.
it, James, stop it. We're filming here.
I know Dolby Vision's like because you've got multiple standards of HDR, and Dolby Vision's like the top one. Like, it's just a lot more information encoded in the video data and stuff like that. But my TV doesn't support Dolby Vision; it only supports HDR10. So I've never seen a Dolby Vision game, but I've heard it is pretty.
It is pretty.
At least when done correctly.
Pretty nice, eh? Okay, last question from Megs. He says, Alessandro, how goes your drone flying? Have your skills improved?
God, I haven't flown that drone in ages. Shani actually asked me, she's like, so you flew that thing for like 3 weeks and now you're over it. I'm like, leave me alone.
Like, shut up, I'm an adult.
I'm an adult, I can buy what I want. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly
Smart
how I
money.
answered. I haven't flown it in a while, so I can't tell you. But that's mainly because I've been at home and I've shot video around home before, so I'm like not inspired.
Can you use it to go spy on your neighbor's tiger?
I have done
Tiger
that.
King. That's amazing. You're like,
I
hey.
think that was like one of the first things I did. I'm like, I need to see how big this house is from an aerial view.
I actually, yeah. So I saw that video. It's like you see you on your patio, and then you just fly up, and you zoom out, and it's just your neighbor's property, and still your neighbor's property, and still your neighbor's property, and it's still you are enclosed by your neighbor.
Yep. It's ridiculous.
Good Lord,
it's ridiculous.
That's so funny. Okay, we have two. We're nearly on 2 hours. Let's fly through these last two. We have 2 questions from Bester Bash, who, let me tell you, so Bester gave me a lot of shit for all the times I streamed Counter-Strike, okay? Guess who played Counter-Strike with us on Tuesday and Thursday?
Did he join?
Yeah, he's fallen down the rabbit hole. He's playing Valorant and Counter-Strike.
Oh, no.
Look,
And he, I know him personally, and I know when he gets hooked on a game, he commits to it. Like,
he loves it.
Oh, good. Because he was committed to Pokemon before this, and Animal Crossing.
And Animal Crossing. Now he's just replaced it with Valorant and Counter-Strike.
Good Lord.
So there we go. He asks, how exactly does one get good?
This is all you, because I'm not good at these games.
Let me tell you, Bester. So what you've done with Counter-Strike, you're approaching it in the way that you've taken the time to. So here's a good example. Okay, someone we play with asked him, like, have you seen this video from War Owl, or like, have you watched War Owl videos? Who's like this prominent CS YouTuber who does like great tip videos and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
And Best is like, yeah, I have. I watch War Owl. It's like, oh, okay, you're actually doing your homework. So you're laying the foundation in the sense that you can walk onto a map and you know more or less like what the calls are, how each weapon works. So the foundation is there. Now, to get good, you just have to put the time in. That's it. That is it. You gotta play. You can team up, play solo, just get to know the maps, get to know the weapons even better.
Gotta learn those sight lines.
Yeah, learn your corners, and that's it. I think
this is why I want to play Rainbow Six Siege, but I'm also like, I will not enjoy it unless I put a lot of time into it.
Yeah, also I'm very keen to play Rainbow Six, but I'm also like, to just get that foundation, you got to watch some videos, play some games,
you got to
suck
for a lot, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the only way. And I think, especially in Counter-Strike, it does help, even if you just play against bots or you sit in a lobby, just taking the time to get comfortable with the weapons, running around the map, learning where the bomb sites are. Yeah, because diving into competitive, like it's a difficult thing. You're going to get trashed and you're going to think like, shit, I'm bad at this game. And it's like, you're not bad at the game, you just don't understand the game. So
it's that hill you got to climb, and you got to be patient, I guess. And not everyone like me has the patience for that shit.
Yeah, and it's the same with any game. I mean, you'll like, let's take Dark Souls, for example, or Sekiro, any of those games where you'll play to be like, this is an awful game because I just keep dying. But at one point, it just clicks because you've now figured out the basics and you know how the game functions. And it's the same with any multiplayer game of like, obviously it's going to be overwhelming when you don't know the map, you don't know where the bomb sites are. But once you know everything, it becomes a thing of, now I'm just focusing on myself, getting my timings right, my skills, etc.
Crouching when I shoot.
What?
Crouching when I shoot. I know that's a thing in Counter-Strike.
Oh, it depends what weapon you're using, you see. So
I did like your clip this week of you tasering the guy and then stealing his weapon and then killing like 3 people. That was some Major League Gaming.
Amazing.
That was real good.
Killing someone with a taser is like goddamn impossible because you have to basically be holding their hand. So when I saw that, it was like, just don't turn around. Just stay right there.
Oh, that's another thing I didn't mention with Hyperscape is it's got like some deep Twitch integration.
Oh, yeah?
So like viewers can change certain things in an ongoing match. So they can
cool.
like, the one thing I saw a lot was chats has chosen low gravity. So for like 30 seconds, the gravity is lowered for all players and stuff like that.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I like stuff like that.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Last question from Best. It says, playing Final Fantasy VII OG and I've enjoyed pairing materia together. Any favorite combos for me to try?
That's again another question for you. I can't remember.
So, Best, off the top of my head, I don't know what the materials are called, but
fire.
You can fire.
Yeah.
There are end game materials in that game. I think one of them is called Mime, so the way the game works, if you master a materia, like if you fill up the experience bar and it duplicates, you get another one of it. So you can equip it on different party members.
Okay.
I think it's Mime, if I'm not mistaken, where what it does, it repeats the exact move that happened before you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You can I think you can pair Mime with a double effect, so it casts it twice. Okay, so I know I'm getting into the weeds here, but there's a summon called Knights of the Round in Final Fantasy VII. Have you ever seen that before? You know what it is?
Is it like King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table?
It leans into that. So it's a summon where, so you know the max damage in Final Fantasy is like quadruple 9. That's the limit.
Yeah.
So what the summon does though is that it's I think it's like a dozen knights or warriors come in and do damage, but they all do like 3,000, 5,000, 6,000. So it's like
they're all limit
a
breaking.
lot of damage. Okay. What you do though is you get someone to cast that, but you can pair that with a double cast materia, if I'm not mistaken, so it'll cast it twice.
Oh, damn.
And then you can get your next person to cast Mime, which repeats the move before. So cast that another 2 times. And you can rinse and repeat like forever. So that's like when you get into the weeds of materia pairings and what you can do, there's some incredibly like complicated stuff you can do, and you can just break that game, actually.
Is materia like the Pokemon for Final Fantasy?
Maybe. I don't know. Got to catch them
it's
all.
like you're combining types and moves and stuff. They're just not living things that you're enslaving.
No, definitely not. You see, Final Fantasy VII, good game. You got to play the remake because although the remake doesn't lean into pairings as much as the original, I don't think. Like you do get pairings, obviously, but I feel like the original gives you some more flexibility. But there are reasons for that. You should play the game.
I should play it. Maybe I'll play it after Bloodborne.
Mm-hmm. Good time. Mm-hmm. And that's all the questions. All of the damn questions.
Thank you so much to everyone who sent in questions. If you want to be like those cool cats, you can email us, checkpointchatpodcast@gmail.com. You can message us at checkpointchat on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook.
TikTok.
Send us your sick TikToks.
Sick TikToks.
Yeah.
Yo, if we play this right, we can end the episode in under 2 hours.
if we play our cards right. Got 60 seconds.
Oh no. Although
it's actually a bit less because we started like 3 minutes in.
We start recording before and we speak some shit, and only then we start the episode.
It's always about like three minutes in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been episode 106 of Checkpoint Chat. Had a lot to talk about. Next week, like we said, we'll probably mention it on social medias, but next week's episode will likely be delayed to hit that Ghost of Sushi trailer. Tsushima embargo, I mean. So, yeah. Thank you so much, as always, for listening and supporting.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you
next week. Yeah, delayed next week.
Yeah. See you in Trackmania.
Ooh, vroom, vroom.
Just kidding. No time. Got to fly. Got games to play.
Thanks you so much. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.
Cool. Goodbye.